Alright, so we are going over an overview of ELA Week 7. So day 1, I want you to focus on reading pages 3 through 12 and making inferences while reading. Now, in case you forgot how to make an inference, this is exactly the one from what you saw last week. To make an inference, you need to gather clues from the text and apply what you know. So some of the clues that they are that the explorers were well prepared, they had a translator, and they packed many supplies and food, and the group consisted of young soldiers. Some things that we know, and it's easier to survive with supplies to help hunt and protect yourself. And that having soldiers in the group can help protect you, and translators can help groups of people communicate to each other. So those are the things that I know, and so my inference is that Lewis and Clark's group was well prepared with supplies, as well as the group of men that they recruited. So good. Thinking map, we have, we're going to get our clues from the text, what we know from personal experience, and come up with one sentence. So you can use one of these. Either of these is fine. You could say, I infer blank, and then you can put in because blank, or you could leave it as what it is, and then, or you can say, I think blank happened because blank. All right. Day 2, I want you to focus on reading pages 13 through 19, the writing prompt, and the thinking map with the short constructed response. So, writing prompt, we have, how was the explorers' encounter with the Lakota Native Americans different from their experience with the Mandan tribe or Native American tribe? In what ways was it similar? So for the most part, you're going to focus on differences and similarities again. And so we're looking at comparing and contrasting the experiences that the explorer had with these two tribes. And we don't want to focus on the differences and similarities between the tribes themselves, such as what type of houses they lived in or where they lived, but how they interacted with the explorers. So, here is the thinking map that you can put together. I'm only going to give you one because last week I gave you two, and you need to be a little bit more independent by now. So, the first one was that they did not like that the U.S. controlled their land. Okay, so that was the Lakota tribe. What they have in common is that they were given gifts from the explorers. And the last one is that the Mandan tribe was a lot more friendly and welcoming. So again, I'm only giving you this top row. The rest you can fill up by yourself. Alright, so if we look at our claim, if we look back at our prompt, it was what were the similarities and differences that they had with each tribe. So the interactions the explorers had with the Lakota and Mandan tribes overall were different, but they shared a few similarities, there we go, such as blank and blank. So, example 1. This is going over a difference that they had. One difference was that the Lakota tribe was blank, while the Mandan tribe was blank. So you're going to be able to fill in those blanks with information. And if you don't want to use this, it's totally fine. You can use a different example, or you can put a different idea. One way that they are different was, it'll be fine. Evidence. It says on page blank, whatever it is, the quote that you have, but on page blank, it says blank. So in this case, you're explaining the differences that you see. If one tribe acted one way and another tribe acted a different way or reacted a different way, you can put both of those on there as your evidence. So these quotes explain that one difference was blank. Pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All right, the next part we're going to be looking at is the similarity that they had. So one similarity the tribes shared was blank. And remember, it's not them as like overall. We're not looking at what types of houses they lived in. We're looking at how they interacted with those explorers. According to page blank, it says blank. And this quote explains that they both blank. So something that they shared, something that they had in common, but not so much that base level understanding of that they lived in different places, because that's not what we want to look at, or that they lived in similar types of houses. We don't want to look at that. We want to look at their interactions with the explorers. It has to connect back to your claim, otherwise it won't make very much sense. Okay. Conclusion. In conclusion, the explorers had blank kinds of experience with the Native American tribes. Alright, quickly going on to day 3. Day 3, I want you to focus on either the story elements tree map or sequencing flow map. You can choose either one to go off of. I'm going to quickly scan through this. Here is the story elements tree map that you could fill in. You have the characters, the setting, the problem, the attempts to solve the problem, and the solution. If you would prefer to put in the sequencing map or put in the ideas for the sequencing map, you can do that either as well or instead of that activity. I don't want you to keep rewriting the same thing over and over again, because all it does is really just provide you with the information that you could use, but I don't want you to be focusing too much on absolutely everything or filling out absolutely everything, because then there would be no real point to that. So I'm going to press pause again. Okay, so if we move on to day 4, I want you to focus on just looking at the extended response. If you want to go back through, refresh your mind of the story, by all means you can go ahead and do that, but for right now I want you to focus on your writing for day 4. So our extended response for number 11. There is another prompt, and I want you to put this together as part of your thinking map. So, why were the members of the Corps of Discovery hopeful as they left the Mandan village in 1805? I want you to support your answer with facts from the text. So in this case, we're going to be looking at detail, evidence, those pieces of information in order to create our thinking map, or in order to create our response to this question. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys fill that out as you go. Just remember that when we have our information, that they don't have to be 3 different pieces of, or 3 different ideas. I want to make sure that you put them together in a way that makes sense to you. So our claim is going to be right over here where it says why/answer. Alright, if you need more time than that, which I'm pretty sure you do, please make sure that you pause the video so that way you can fill this out without me talking over you, because then you're going to get confused. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fill in this answer. This is our claim. This is our big idea. The Corps of Discovery believed they were getting close to their final goal, which was blank. Now again, this is only a suggestion. You do not have to put this in as that, but I do want to make sure that you put it in as either a complete sentence or most of an idea, because that way I can see that you're understanding how to put this together and not just writing one-word answers. They had the help of blank. The Native Americans told them they were close to blank, and that was it. So we went through 2 examples, and they're going to show up on your short constructed response. So our claim is the same exact thing. The Corps of Discovery was hopeful because they believed they were close to their goal of reaching the Pacific Ocean. So that was their ultimate thing. That's what they wanted to do. Example 1. First of all, they had the help of blank. So in this case, you would also make sure that you put that they were hopeful because. First of all, they were hopeful because they had the help of blank. I believe that was filled in that last slide. According to page blank, it says blank. Now, if they mention that they have the help of a certain group or certain people, you don't want to have that as your evidence, because then you're going to be saying the same thing over and over again. You want to kind of start to explain or give me evidence that starts to show why why the core of discovery was hopeful or remained hopeful. You want to make sure that that's brought in. You don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again. This quote shows that the group had someone helping them explore the unfamiliar land. So in this case, you want to find something that helps bridge that idea of them being hopeful or them staying hopeful because of a certain reason or example, giving me evidence to support why they're still hopeful, and then explaining that it shows a certain idea or it helps that idea along. For example 2, another reason is blank. According to page blank, it says blank, and this quote explains or shows something. So in this case, it's another reason why they are hopeful. Another reason they are hopeful is because blank. Alright. In conclusion, really, really long blank. And again, you can use the same claim as you had from before, but the most important thing is to make sure you explain that they're hopeful, that they are close to reaching their goal of getting to the Pacific Ocean. You could also explain why it was important for them to reach the Pacific Ocean. Maybe they had a certain reason for going there, but you don't want to extend on that too much during the last sentence. And finally, we made it to day 5. I want you to focus on Achieve 3000. You could do the activity questions, or you could type up a summary and submit it to Google Classroom. You also want to take the time right now to go ahead and complete those reading logs. And remember that if you are going through the reading logs and you're just not getting through all of the activities, have mom and dad sign off on it. I will be okay with it. But I need to make sure, or I need to see their signature on that reading log, not just, oh, I'm done with it. So if you are done with it and mom and dad ask you a question about it and you go, oh, well, I don't know, then they're not going to sign off of it, and neither am I. So anyways, that is it for this entire week. I will also post the adjustments for this week. They're going to look very similar from the one from last week, so if you want to do those, you can do those. It's literally just me providing you extra, or like my thoughts on what to do for these weeks, because that's a lot of work and I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed. So if you do have any questions, or if you do have any concerns, please make sure that you email me, contact me in some way, so that way I'm aware of it and we can make those adjustments together, or I can make those adjustments even for next week. So that is it. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm really bad at ending these things. So if I literally just say goodbye, I'm sorry. But I'm good. I'm missing you guys like crazy. So if you want to stop by any of my Zoom meetings, please make sure you do. So that way you say hi, I can see you, we can talk for a little bit, and then you can go about your business the rest of the day. That's it. All right.